In 1852, white Americans desired to move into an area that comprises modern-day Kansas. Businessmen and farmers alike also desired a transcontinental railroad. Many of these people favored a route passing through Kansas. A railroad across the United States would allow Eastern industrialists a cheaper and faster way to transport their products to the population of the West. Two problems existed for the people desiring the white settlement of Kansas. First, the federal government had promised this territory to the Native Americans. So, before the white settlement could take place, government officials had to move the natives. Secondly, this territory was part of the Louisiana Purchase Territory, which contained all of present-day Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, most of North Dakota, and parts of Minnesota. Under the Missouri Compromise of 1820, an agreement passed between the pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions in the United States that the land would become the Kansas and Nebraska territories and had to be free states where slavery would not be permitted. Many white Southerners opposed this provision. They hoped to maintain a balance in the United States Senate to prevent the passing of laws that might affect slavery across the rest of the United States. Until California was added to the United States in 1850, the North and the South had maintained an equal number of senates from the slave and free states in the United States Senate. If Kansas and Nebraska was open to settlement and became free states by the Missouri Compromise, many white Southerners feared that they would never be able to reign in equal balance with the North in the Senate. In 1853, Illinois Senator Stephen Douglas proposed creating the Nebraska Territory. The House of Representatives quickly passed the bill, but the Senate refused to vote on the measure. Southern senators informed Douglas that slavery must be permitted in Nebraska Territory or they would not support the bill. Douglas knew that such a bill would outrage many white Northerners, including his own constituents. Douglas introduced a rewritten version of his bill in 1854, this time stating that the eligible voters in the territory would decide for themselves whether or not to allow slavery. While Douglas had now gained enough support to pass his bill in the United States Senate, he faced opposition from President Franklin Pierce. Pierce believed that the Missouri Compromise had kept peace between white Northerners and Southerners, and he did not want to abandon the Government Act that had worked so well. Several Southern senators visited Pierce in the White House and gave him an ultimatum. Either support Douglas's Kansas-Nebraska Act or lose all political support that the president currently enjoyed in the South. Pierce eventually gave in to the senators. In 1854, Douglas took a stand with the new Republican Party against the spread of slavery in the territories through the Kansas and Nebraska Act. His famous speech denouncing the act put him in the national political spotlight, squaring off against his later presidential rival. However, in January of 1854, Douglas introduced the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Many white Northerners opposed the Kansas-Nebraska Act in its final form. Salmon Chase, a senator from Ohio, denounced the bill, believing that slavery violated Christian beliefs. Some other opponents objected to slavery on moral grounds, while other people simply did not want to compete economically with slave owners if slavery was permitted in Kansas and Nebraska. All of the bill's opponents, whether on economic or moral grounds, objected the possible expansion of slavery. The bill passed both houses of Congress. Most members of the Democratic Party endorsed it, while members of the Free Soil Party condemned it. Finally, on May 30th, 1854, the Kansas and Nebraska bill became a law. Unfortunately, the Kansas-Nebraska Act led to Bleeding Kansas, a mini-civil war that erupted in Kansas in 1856. The root of the conflict came from the question of whether Kansas would enter the Union as a free state or as a slave state. So Bleeding Kansas then became a war between Northerners and Southerners over the issue of slavery in the United States. Many Northerners and Southerners went to Kansas in 1854 and 1855, determined to convert the future state to their view on slavery. To ensure that their respective side would win, both Southerners and Northerners, including Ohioans like John Brown and Henry Ward Beecher, advocated the use of violence. The division between the North and the South was widening and would eventually lead to the Civil War.